YouTube, it's Will from Will Development. It's my 299th weekly update. Almost to that magic 300. Which actually doesn't hold a whole lot of significance for me. Or I should say this series. But it's okay. It's okay. It's still a cool number. It's still crazy that I'm at 300. I remember when I hit like 50 and, that was like about a year, We're coming up on a 4th year here, which is pretty cool. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the journey so far. Still plenty more to come. And we're going to talk about this week. So, Monday, squats, deadlifts, lower body day. Went pretty okay. I ended up hitting a few reps at 225, like 5 or 6 reps at 225 for a top set of squats. And it definitely aggravated some things that I had hoped wouldn't get aggravated. I had to take a week off from the Zerchers. It's a very taxing movement because if you don't know what a Zercher squat is, basically you're cradling the bar in your elbows here, or in your I don't know, elbow pits. I don't know what to call those, but you're cradling the bar there when you're doing the squat, and it's a type of front squat, but the carryover to a lot of strongman movements is ridiculous, especially if you do them from the floor, where you essentially deadlift it off the floor, break at the knees, put it in your lap, and then start from the bottom. So you're taking away a lot of the stretch reflex that you could have gained from, say, starting from the top, which adds another challenge. But then you've got the grip aspect of it, because I do them with an axle because it's a little less strain on the joints there and on the little nook. But had to take a week off from them. I went to do one on Monday, and I was like, you know what? This is not the week for this. Time for a minor deload is what I decided for the squats and everything. Plus, like I said, I went a little heavier that day. Deadlifts on Monday, ended up doing 2 sets of 3 at 365. No, 2 sets of 4 at 365. Which was a new recent PR for me, and then hit my 3. I actually hit 405 on Monday. Wanted to hit 390, and I was just like, yeah, screw it, just put on 405 and do it. And I pulled it. It was a probably one of the slowest pulls I've done in a very long time, but things felt pretty tight. So, and there was no pain afterwards. So called it a good day. Tuesday, upper body pull-ups as usual. Maybe I did chins that day, I don't recall. Pressing with 165. Did every minute on the minute for 10 minutes, so 10 total reps of 165 strict press singles. Was that this week? No, that was like last week. What did I do on Monday? I think I did sets of 2 at, I did 5 sets of 2. At 165, and then I hit my 190 push press, which was, man, it took 3 tries for me to finally actually get it. And on the second attempt, I was a little miffed, so when I put the bar back in the rack, I slammed it a little hard and it bounced back on the floor, so I ended up cleaning it up and then putting it back in the rack, and then walked away for a second, came back, and then when the third attempt, when I got it, it just, boom, shot right up, and I'm like, yeah, go figure, It was just one of those days. It was one of those weeks. That's why I sort of been taking it a little bit easier this week. I could tell my body was just like, you need a slight break, bro. So I listened. Wednesday, I ended up fixing my patio door after work. So that's what I did for training. As sliding doors are, they're not heavy. They're just really awkward. Finally got it fixed and sealed up good. Finally, it's a new door. That's a pain. It wasn't even that hard of a job. It was just like a lot of things went wrong. I might talk about it someday if anybody's interested. Thursday, another lower body day. Did beltless squats, back squats with 185. Did like 2 sets of 2 because it didn't irritate anything. And I still feel strong. That's what sucks the most about it. Like, even with all the weight, I still feel very capable in terms of leg strength. It's just that hip and back in a certain position that seems to just really get irritated. So it may come to the point where I just have to sort of treat back squats as the accessory and alternative movements as the main movers, things like lunges and stuff like that, and just slowly ramp up those weights on the back squats as time goes on. But it is what it is. And because I was so easy on myself, my hip and back actually feel really good, which is good because today I decided to take it even easier and just did like 3 sets of 2 with strict press on 160. And even, I actually forgot to do it, but I ended up skipping my 190 and all of my accessory work because I'm going to train tomorrow with a fellow competitor, and we're going to be doing heavy yoke runs and heavy farmers, bag toss, probably some stones, and I'll do a lot of, and some pressing too, so I'll end up doing a lot of stuff tomorrow that I would have done today. And that's totally fine. I mean, just as long as some of the work gets in and it's more accessory work. I'll probably do a little bit of axle and log too. Plan to hit the 190 from the floor, which will be good to do. And we'll go from there. And then yeah, so that's where I'm at with the week. The experiment videos / stone video, still work in progress. Have not had the opportunity to slice open those bad boys yet on the experiment video and take a peek at them. Weather has not been permitting just yet. Plus, stone orders have been just non-stop. I mean, I'm pouring every weekend, every Wednesday, every weekend. It's just non-stop. So it's taking up a lot of my spare time. Not that these things take an insane amount of time. I can pretty much pour. It's funny because like one stone takes about an hour and a half to do from absolute start to absolute finish. That's getting all the stuff out, all the equipment, taping the mold, all that stuff. But then when you add one stone to that, it's only about 10 to 15 more minutes of work. And that's, from start to finish. So like I could do 4 stones in about 2.5 to 3 hours, but in terms of pouring, but then finishing and stuff like that takes some more time, especially if I'm sealing and things like that. I have to give it 10 minutes between each coat and all that good stuff, which I do seal all of my stones now, just because they look so much nicer. And it really mitigates the chance of any sort of dusting, which can happen on even the best made stones. So that's where we're at. This weekend is wild. Like I said, I'm driving out there. It's 2 hours each way, so I got 4 hours of driving tomorrow, probably 2 to 3 hours of training, and then I got to pour stone when I get back. And then Sunday I'm driving down to Boca Raton for a delivery. If you're not following my Instagram, follow that, and you'll get to see who I'm delivering to tomorrow, or I'm sorry, on Sunday. And Boca Raton from here, it's South Florida, so it's about 3.5 hours, give or take. So I've got about 6 to 7 hours of driving tomorrow or on Sunday. So I got a lot of driving this weekend, but it's good. I love it. I love meeting new people, and I love being a part of the sport in any way that I can be. And providing a service is awesome. It gives me a purpose in the sport and a way to give back. Since I'm not the greatest competitor yet. So it's nice to be able to give something back to the community in the form of an actual tangible object. And I definitely recommend that to people. I think a lot of problems in the world, and this is just a general statement, not specific to anything going on anywhere, anytime, but I think a lot of problems people have in their lives would be solved by just having a purpose. And I think finding a purpose is one of the toughest things to do in life, and I'm lucky, privileged, blessed, whatever you want to call it, to have found this purpose as a stonemaker and a provider. And it allows me a unique position to be a small part of people's training. I mean, people from world champions to people just getting into the sport, you know. And it's an awesome feeling, and it definitely makes all the mosquito bites and getting caught out in the rain and just back pain from hunching over a stone and the concrete embedded in my forearms at this point. It makes all that stuff worth it. And so that's probably my message this week. Get a purpose. It'll make you feel better. It'll make everything in your life better. Just having a purpose, whatever it is. Something that drives you, that you're passionate about. It can be anything from a hobby of making something like woodworking, or like I do with masonry, to, I mean, you know, I know people that have kids that talk about it the same way, that becomes their purpose, you know, providing the best life for that child. So, you know, there's unlimited things you could do as a purpose to enrich your life and be passionate about. So find whatever that is. Try a million different things and go for it, you know, and hopefully you'll be like me and you'll get lucky and you'll just kind of fall ass first into it, and turns out you're pretty good at it. And if you don't, then what's your excuse?